Hey, I haven't done a video where I just sort of talk at the camera like this in a long time, and I had a really good night last night, so I wanted to talk about it. And it's definitely related to the channel and music and stuff of that nature. I guess this is kind of like a motivational story, and for me, just like a happy story. That I really wanted to share with y'all because I'm smiling a lot this morning. So anyway, I've been doing open mic nights for a while now, as like a smaller artist trying to get my name out there, just performing my stuff on stage for people to hear. I've been doing it at Busboys and Poets, which is a sort of like restaurant chain in the DC area. By the way, I've relocated. I'm living in the DC area now, so that's the reason for that location. And yeah, so I've been going for a few months now. If you are an avid viewer of the channel, you might have seen my $5,000 boat live performance that was at a previous open mic night. So I went to Maryland last night. They were having an open mic night there, hosted by the same guy who hosts the ones I normally go to in DC. His name's Malpractice. You can find him at C Malpractice. C is in SEE on Instagram. He's super dope, so you should definitely check him out. And these open mic nights are for everyone. There's a lot of poetry, a lot of music, really everything. I've seen comedians go up there, all sorts of stuff. Pretty much just a space for anybody who makes creative stuff that they want to share with people and they want to do it on a mic. So normally the open mic nights I've been to attract a pretty good crowd. It's usually like 50 plus people, I would say. But last night was very different. Last night was pretty empty, like 20 to 25 people max. It was a pretty small, intimate sort of open mic night. So I was kind of concerned because, sometimes I like to do more hype stuff, and I feel like the hype stuff goes over better when you have a lot of people who can potentially be into it. With a smaller crowd, it's possible that maybe nobody likes hype rap, and, it just might not be the vibe for the night. So I was, a little bit wary going into this one. But Malachi Malpractice, he came up to me before the show because he remembered my $5,000 boat performance, and he really appreciated it last time. And he was like, I'm just going to be honest with you, man. There are 2 people on the open mic night list right now, and you're one of them. And so normally at these open mic nights you get like 5 minutes to perform and then they're gonna be like, okay, you can go now. So normally I would only have time for 1 or 2 songs, but he came up to me and he was like, hey, like, we're gonna try to get more people. Like I'll be very like welcoming on stage and try to convince people to come up and perform whatever they got. But it doesn't look like we're gonna have too many people here tonight performing, so if you want to do sort of like an extended set and be kind of like the spotlight artist for tonight, you can do that. And, my eyes lit up. I was like, whoa, like, getting recognition for what I do always feels really dope. Like, that's just an excellent feeling, Even if I'm basically the only option, it still felt really good. So, he was like, you could do like a 12-minute set or something like that, just like go a little over, do a few extra songs. And I was like, yeah, I could do like 4 or 5 songs if you want. And he's like, yeah, sounds great. So I'm getting kind of hyped at this point. I told him I was kind of nervous about the crowd, like maybe they're not going to be vibing with it, whatever. But I really couldn't have been more wrong. So I was the second artist to go up that night, and he did end up getting more people. We had a pretty good night at the end. It was like maybe 5 or 6 people went up and did their stuff, and Malachi in between, since he was hosting, he read a lot of his own poetry, so it was pretty great. But oh my god, I went up there, I went a little over 12 minutes, I ended up doing 5 songs, but the crowd was so into it. Just the vibes were unmatched compared to any other open mic night I've done. And like, I've had good reactions from crowds before, but this one was just really special. Like, I could tell everybody was really feeling what I was doing with just every track. So I did Where Did It Go? I did Storms at Night. I did my Amari freestyle, which I just dropped the other day. I did $5,000 Boat, and then I did Skate, which is a song that you haven't heard yet. It's an unreleased joint that I've been working on. Really proud of it. It's just a super fun hype song to close out the night. And oh my god, the way the crowd was reacting to every song, it was like they were feeling it, getting people cheering in the middle of the song and stuff. It was such a vibe. And that just feels so good as an artist. Like, I've been putting so much work into this music stuff, and on the internet, I get great comments from y'all and stuff, but there's still some aspect of me when I see like online comments where I'm like, well, maybe they're just being nice, whatever, things like that, But doing it live, you can tell when it's resonating with people, and it was just really resonating last night, and that just made me so happy. And that's just a great night. Like, I would have been thrilled if that was all that happened. But the truly amazing thing happened afterwards. I was talking to the host, Malachi, after the set. And so normally these Busboys and Poets open mic nights have like a featured artist, like somebody who they sort of announce beforehand And it's like, this is the person who's going to come on at the end, do like a 15, 20-minute set, whatever, whether they're a poet, a musician, whatever they are. They'll normally have somebody who's like confirmed to be dope, basically. Last night was a more chill one where they didn't actually have a featured artist, so it was kind of me by proxy, but I wasn't like announced beforehand or anything like that. I just showed up and happened to be the guy who got the longer set. But Malachi was saying, in the future, if you want to be a featured artist, that would be great. We'd love to have you. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this is the goal. For complete transparency and like so you can understand where I'm coming from, my sort of end goal with this music stuff, beyond just like making really dope music that I enjoy listening to, is to be able to sort of perform live whenever I want and like attract a crowd to those sorts of performances. To not have to like beg to be let into a venue to try out a show and maybe get 5 people showing up or something. Like my dream is not to be at a Drake level or anything like that. Not even to be an artist who's like in the conversation globally. Like, I'm really just trying to get to the point where I have enough people who vibe with what I'm doing that I can sell tickets at local shows. And potentially like nationwide or area-wide shows. Like I would love to go on tour at some point in my life. But for now, the goal is definitely local shows in the DC area to be able to have a following here. And so hearing Malachi say that he wanted me to be a feature artist at some point in the future is just like a huge step towards that end goal of mine that just felt so validating for all this work I've been putting in. And it really feels like that's the way to my goal, like doing more shows like this, slowly rising through the ranks of like being just some random guy at the open mic night who gets 5 minutes to like a guy who gets 12 minutes to the featured act. And I feel like the next step from featured act at an open mic night is opening for a bigger artist at a local show, or doing my own local show at like a small venue or something like that. So there's no set date for my open mic feature yet, but Malachi was saying they'll start to have openings in like the beginning of 2024. And I'm really feeling confident that it'll get to happen because just the love was there. I could tell that there was mutual respect between us for the stuff we're doing. And he just really vibed with the music I'm making and performing on stage. And it just, as a smaller artist who doesn't get moments like this so often, it just felt so good to have people really vibe with what I was doing. So let this be motivation to you if you're making music or whatever you're doing, that, if you have a dream. Obviously, there's a lot of survivorship bias in the media. You're only going to see the people who are successful at their dream. But this is sort of a short glimpse into somebody who's a little successful at the dream. I haven't done it yet, but the only reason I'm even close is because I'm just pushing and taking opportunities and going to open mic nights and making the dopest shit I know how to make. So just keep doing that. Do it for the love of the art. Have a set goal in mind and decide how you're going to get to that goal and do it. And I can't promise that you'll see results, and I can't promise I'll see results, but we're going to keep trying, and we're really going to hope that this just works. But yeah, I haven't really pushed my Instagram on here too much, so please follow me on Instagram if you want updates about when I'm doing live shows and stuff. From now on, I'm definitely going to make sure to be more active on there whenever I'm live. Especially if you're in the DC area, make sure to follow me there. But even if you're not, I have sort of like leads, like the bare minimum potential of maybe doing a show in San Francisco this year. And I could be doing stuff in the New Jersey area, which is where I'm originally from. So wherever you're from, if you're at all interested in potentially seeing me perform live someday, follow me on Instagram and I'll make announcements there when tickets are on sale, if you need to buy tickets, whatever the deal is. But I've been rambling for a while, so I'll let you go. But yeah, just feeling very motivated today, feeling like, all the work I've been putting in has been for something. And, it just feels really great to have the work I've put in be appreciated by other people. So thank you so much for watching this and staying on my side. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you at a show sometime.